Today we're making a plush toy that's simple to sew by hand. This tutorial is based on my friend Moxie's Free-Range Monsters project in Craft Magazine Volume 6. I've used this project for years to teach introductory sewing to my students at SVA. It's fun, creative, and doesn't require much in the way of specialized tools. The first step is to make a paper pattern. Create a character or just randomly arrange some shapes. Just be sure none of its features are too skinny, or you'll have trouble turning it right side out later on. If your fabric is fuzzy like mine, pay attention to the direction of the fuzz, which is called the nap. My fabric also has a clear right side and wrong side. Cut two pieces of fabric in the shape of your pattern so that one is the mirror image of the other. Stack them together with the right sides facing each other and clamp the aligned edges together with small clips or pins. Here's a tip for setting up your thread. Double it over after threading your needle to bring the two ends together. To make an extra big knot, wrap the thread around your forefinger. Then pinch in your thumb and use it to spin the strands down to the tip of your finger, where then you can cinch down the newly formed twisted loops into a tight and messy knot. Stitch the fabric together along the outside edges using a back stitch, which goes 2 steps forward, 1 step back. In other words, come up through the fabric 2 stitch lengths away, then step back by 1 stitch length to come down through the fabric at the same place the last stitch ends. When you're about to run out of thread, use the needle to stitch a knot by looping it through some previous stitches, then catching the loop before you pull it tight. Repeat and cut the needle free, then start stitching again right where you left off. Leave a gap in your stitches about 4 inches wide so that you can turn the toy right side out. At this point, I took the optional step of attaching some plushy toy eyes and a nose that I found online that pierced through the fabric. You could also wait until after stuffing to attach facial features to the outside of the toy using felt and fabric glue. Stuff the toy with small amounts of polyfill at a time, using a chopstick to get it down into the details of the toy's features. You can also stuff your toy with fabric scraps or even crumpled up plastic bags. I trimmed the long fur around its face. Then it's time to stitch the toy closed. My fabric's fur kept getting in the way, so I used a bit of plastic to keep it out of the way. I like to do this with a ladder stitch, which is when you make stitches along alternating sides of the opening, which stay on the right side of the fabric. When you tighten the stitches, the raw edges then turn inside the toy. To tie off the thread, create a knot and then bury the tail inside the toy. I used yarn and matching thread to create some hair to complete the look. Thanks for following along. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to catch my future projects about technology, crafts, and my life here in New York City. See you next time.